The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect the policies and the position of Now You Know.
Good evening. Today is June 25, 2020, and welcome to Legal Basis, where we examine the country's most pressing legal issues with the help of our Filipino lawyers. I am Shari Oliquino, and tonight we talk about the law.
26 years after the first Pride March in the Philippines, the struggle for equality continues as Filipino lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transgenders, and queers, or the LGBTQ community, continues to face hate crimes, discrimination, and oppression. Advocates say that while the Philippines is one of the most tolerant countries in Southeast Asia for the LGBT community, it also has one of the bloodiest records of violence against the sector. Just recently, under the community quarantine, a barangay chairman in Mexico, Pampanga ordered 3 curfew violators, who are members of the LGBTQ community, to perform lewd sexual acts as a punishment. To date, draft legislations that seek to put an end to discrimination, such as the Anti-Discrimination Bill and SOGI Equality Bill, are still pending.
Bago ang lahat, nais kong batiin ang ating mga online viewers ng Happy Pride. Talagang namang napapanahon ang ating talakayan ngayong gabi dahil kaugnay ito ng pagdiriwang ng Pride Month ngayong Hunyo. Aalamin natin kung kamusta na nga ba ang sitwasyon ng mga miyembro ng LGBTQ community sa ating bansa. Susuriin din natin ang mga umiiral at mga panukalang batas kaugnay ng LGBT rights. Kaya naman here with us tonight, live via Skype, is a human rights lawyer and an LGBT rights advocate. Walang iba kundi si Atty. Jess Falcis. Magandang gabi po, Attorney. Welcome sa Legal Basis at Happy Pride po sa inyo, Atty. Jess.
Good evening po. Thank you for having me and I'm so happy to be here in your show to discuss LGBT rights and LGBT issues. Happy Pride sa lahat.
Yan. Maraming salamat din po, Attorney, sa pagpapaunlak ng aming imbitasyon. Para sa ating mga viewers, maaari po kayong makilahok sa ating talakayan. I-post lamang ang inyong mga tanong at opinion sa aming comment section at susubukan natin yung sagutin sa tulong ng ating guest maya-maya lamang. Kaya naman, Atty. Jess, wag na po natin itong patatagalin pa bago natin suliin ang mga panukala at ang mga umiiral na batas hinggil sa LGBT rights. Attorney, how would you describe, first and foremost, the current situation of LGBT rights here in the country?
There's progress. So I think since we started recognizing the issue of LGBT rights historically, way before okay naman talaga siya. But then of course colonization came and then we adopted certain approaches when it comes to sexual orientation and gender identity that criminalize and oppress or suppress certain LGBT identities. And then of course nagkaroon ng reawakening in some parts of the world and part of that is the Philippines. And then we struggled to shed off some of that colonial past. So now even though for the most part, pangit pa din ang situation ng LGBT rights. If we're talking about rights as something that you can demand from the state, as protections or claims that individuals can make on the basis of what they deserve as human beings, for the most part, talagang kulang pa at medyo mababa yung sitwasyon. Pero there has been progress in the last 10 to 20 years. Specifically, at least dumadami na ang mga cities or mga local governments that have passed anti-discrimination ordinances. Of course, the movement and most of the community want to make it a national one, so yun pa yung kulang. And then as to other rights, aside from anti-discrimination, wala din. For example, same-sex marriage, there's no right to same-sex marriage, or right to marriage per se, no? It's not a specific right anyway. It's just a right to marriage for everybody, which is just denied to same-sex couples and transgender couples if they have a cisgender partner. And gender recognition, since we're talking about transgender, the state of gender identity in the Philippines is still binary. It's just male, female, and that oppresses some of our brothers and sisters and people who are in between. As we all know now from science, it's just not male and female. So those are the three, no, most primordial and siguro important priorities for the LGBT movement in the world. There are other rights that can be afforded or granted to LGBT individuals, but anti-discrimination, same-sex marriage, and gender recognition are some of the more important and urgent priorities. So in the current situation, if you're asking in relation with that, then it's not good kasi wala naman yung mga rights na yun. But on a local level, because there is progress in terms of anti-discrimination ordinances, then we can say may incremental improvement.
Okay. So, attorney, would you agree to some people who say that the Philippine society has grown to be more accepting of the members of the LGBTQ plus community? So, for instance, meron po tayong mga high-ranking government officials po na members ng LGBT community. Do you agree to this? Or do you think na we have a longer, a fight to win, ika nga?
Well, we're talking about acceptance kasi. Acceptance is different from tolerance first. And then of course, acceptance can be on bigoted terms. It can be on the terms of the oppressor rather than the people who are fighting for their acceptance. So how do we define acceptance, diba? Acceptance means people believing that who you are and what you're doing is not wrong, and that who you are and what you're doing is legitimate, diba? So right now the default assumption is if you're straight, if you are born of a certain sex and you like the opposite sex, and if you're born of the certain sex and you're comfortable in your body, you were born male and you express yourself to be male, and of course people accept you to be male. You wear pants, you act like a man, quote unquote. I put that in quotation marks. And conversely, ganun din sa babae, you wear clothes that are traditionally or fit the idea of what is a woman, and you act what people think a woman should act or how a woman should act, and you're accepted for that. Nobody questions na, oh, why are you a man? Why are you a man and you're wearing pants? Nobody questions that, of course. That's the default. Ganun din sa babae. Uh, and when you have a crush, heterosexuals have a crush on each other, and they court each other, nanliligaw sila, they fall in love, they marry. There's no stigma there, there's no judgment, there's no discrimination. Sure, sa ibang bagay, di ba? Kung nangaliwa ka, or you cheated, so yun yung sa discrimination part. And of course, we can all agree probably na in that part, valid naman yung discrimination. Pero sa mga ganung bagay, yun nga, if you're straight, heterosexual, there's no question. There's no judgment, there's no stigma, there's no discrimination, especially at a young age. Now, when a lot of young people don't even know what sexual identity and gender identity is, they just feel that they're not accepted. Diba? That the default they see sa media, sa mga napapanood nila, sa mga naririnig nilang interviews, malay mo may nakikinig dito na LGBT youth or non-LGBT youth but will get to be exposed about queer consciousness, may question talaga about LGBT identity. And of course, we have to work to inform and make other people aware why who we are and what we do is valid. But again, I go back. So the question of acceptance comes from that. The acceptance should be there is no debate. There should be no debate. There should be no question about who lesbians, gays, bisexual, and transgender people are and how they act or what they do, and say that that is abnormal or that is a sin or that is wrong, that is an abomination. There's no acceptance if we're talking about that. Of course, some people are accepting, but if we're talking about the Philippine society as a whole, When you're talking about the legal system, when you're talking about the religious fabric, the socio-cultural fabric of the Philippines, then um, it doesn't seem to be acceptance. It may be tolerance, one. So tolerance because yes, we do have successful, openly gay or openly trans individuals, but one, they're very few. So it's not systematically available or accessible to all. So a lot of the successful ones like Boy Abunda, Vice Ganda, and let's say maybe recently uh, identifying trans people like Saidinho, if I recall correctly, the identity of formerly known as Isa Segura. You have previously Charis Pempenko, who is now Jake Cyrus. Um, but his career is not that good. That's a contrary example, no. But anyway, successful LGBT people usually struggled before they became successful. It's not as easy, diba? The struggle of straight and heterosexual people is not when it comes to their identity along with working hard in showbiz or in politics,
Mhm.
'di ba? The normal struggles that you do, which is to work hard, work every day, show up and prove to people that you're competent, that you're entertaining or you're funny or you have a new idea. That's the normal struggle for uh, straight and heterosexual people. For LGBT people, you have to prove you're funny, entertaining, or competent, politics, showbiz, whatever, economics, being a doctor, on top of proving that despite, or maybe because of being LGBT, that you are successful in that field. So, it could be tolerance na, oh, you're funny even if you're gay, or you're funny because you're gay. So,
Mhm.
or you're intelligent and you're creative because or despite you're gay. So that could be tolerance. The other is acceptance. There is acceptance because there are some sectors that are progressive. So in the showbiz industry, of course, most of the people you work with there are exposed to the realities of LGBT identities, from your makeup artists to hairdressers, and of course, the celebrities themselves. A lot of creative people or LGBT people go into the showbiz industry. So the industry as a whole may seem to
Mhm.
be accepting because LGBT people make up a substantial part of that. So normal, obviously, they would accept each other, right? So using showbiz probably may not be a good um, example to represent the whole of Philippine society. If the question is Philippine society as a whole accepting? So showbiz is maybe an isolated or an exceptional case. Now look at politics. So who's openly gay in politics? Who's openly trans in politics? You only have, for now, Congresswoman Geraldine Roman. But there are also factors we can cite to explain how she won, not because Philippine society is accepting of trans people, but because she comes from a political dynasty. And fortunately for her, her family supports her very much, especially her dad. And then, of course, being a member of a political dynasty, it's a different dynamic altogether. And then, of course, we also have the question, with all due respect to Congresswoman Geraldine Roman, I just have to be meticulous about this, no? Because if you're talking about acceptance, it's really not true. But for Congresswoman Geraldine Roman, she passes. Meaning, as a trans woman, her appearance, her stature, her socioeconomic status, and of course her political background as a dynasty, allows her to pass, meaning to be accepted by society because she passes the checklist for what is unacceptable, quote unquote, acceptable trans woman, right? There are many trans brothers and sisters who don't pass. And passing is a specific concept, no? So I invite listeners to research what passing means. There are trans people who, quote unquote, do not look obviously a man if they're a trans man, and who don't look obviously a woman if they're a trans woman, right? So that's called passing. You can pass off as another sex, and you won't get questioned for it. You're a oh, she's prettier than an actual woman. Uh, that may seem like a compliment, but that is also an insult to those who cannot quote unquote pass. Anyway, the end point here is um, Philippine society is not accepting as a whole. If we're talking relatively more accepting, then yes, because as I said, there's incremental progress. And of course, LGBT people are fighting to be accepted. So if people are fighting to be accepted, eventually, people have no choice but to accept because we are going to insist that our identities and our lives are of equal worth to be recognized and to be accepted on our own terms, not on anyone else's terms. Respecting your right to
Ayun.
religion or religious freedom, that's your freedom. When it comes to your private thoughts, right? When it comes to your fellow religious people. But when you're interacting in a democracy, and I'm not just talking about religion, maybe your opposition to LGBT identities and lives may come not from religion. You may think something from biological determinism or some scientific pseudo scientific basis, no. But in a democracy there must be common facts, right? And that's usually human rights. That's usually the consensus in the scientific community, which has already removed homosexuality from the list of mental illnesses, along with transgender, removed from the list of mental illnesses, as we have followed from Western countries before, especially in the 90s. So in a democracy, when you interact with other people, you cannot insist to invalidate their lives or their identity just because you personally think that that is not true or that is not correct. So there must be some universal standard where we accept people.
Now, attorney, napakalinaw po no, ng inyong mga pahayag at maraming salamat sa pagbabahagi ng kasalukuyang sitwasyon ng members ng LGBT community in the Philippine society. So kanina nabanggit po ninyo na up until today, no, the members of the LGBTQIA++ community are still fighting for equal rights. Bagaman meron tayong small victories, ika nga. So while some members of the sector are still experiencing many forms or different forms rather of discrimination, does the country have laws that penalize these acts? Meron ba tayong batas no, tawag dito, nagbibigay ng safeguard sa karapatan ng mga members ng LGBT community?
Well, as we mentioned, there are anti-discrimination ordinances in several cities in the Philippines. So what is good in the Philippine system, although we're not federal, and that's of course a big debate altogether, no.
Yeah.
But cities can pass ordinances or laws as long as they do not conflict with the national law. They can pass a specific law that's different from other cities. So even if other cities don't have their own anti-discrimination ordinances, one city can have its own if it wants to. No? So Quezon City, for example, and many other cities in the Philippines have anti-discrimination ordinances which defines what sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression is, and what are the acts that are punishable when you discriminate on the basis of a person's soji. And by the way, when we mention sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression or soji, it does not actually include just the LGBT, because being straight or being heterosexual and being cisgender, which is you're not transgender, you're comfortable with your own body, that's also soji. So, for example, let's just say I'm an employer, I'm a CEO, and I discriminate hiring against women or men on the basis that they are men or on the basis that they are women. I only accept, let's say, LGBT, and I make it explicit. That's not likely, no? But let's say another thing that's more likely. What if there's a bigoted man who believes women are not capable, right? So women are not considered to be LGBT, diba? And of course, are not traditionally thought of to have soji. Straight women women who have boyfriends, women who have husbands. What if they apply to a man, a CEO, who believes in the way that men thought of women in the 1920s, that women are the inferior sex, that women cannot do this, cannot do that, should belong in the house, does not hire. Can he or she, can that person be punished under the anti-discrimination ordinances which protect LGBT? Yes, because the anti-discrimination ordinances enacted punishes discrimination of soji. And everyone
Okay.
has soji, including straight men and straight women. So I'm just emphasizing that it just doesn't benefit LGBT people. No? But of course, specifically for
Mhm.
LGBT, because like domestic violence, most of the discrimination against soji, against people's sexual orientation or gender identity, doesn't happen to the straight men or women. It happens to the gays, lesbians, bisexuals, and transgender. So that's one example. Hiring and firing, promotion, or discrimination in the workplace just on the basis of your soji. There's no rational reason why you promoted someone or demoted someone. Like they did something
Mhm.
wrong or they did something good. Just because you don't like the person's soji. That would be a punishable act. And then, of course, for example, in schools, if school administrators or teachers punish or embarrass uh, kids, specifically, of course, they're kids, they're minors, they deserve protection on the basis of their soji. That's also punishable. Um, but in relation with your question as well, and in relation with this, no, aside from anti-discrimination ordinances for minors who are LGBTs, but even if you're not LGBT, again as well, there's a national law, but it's very limited in terms of protection against bullying, right? Schools are required to have a framework in approaching bullying, and bullying, especially in schools, would definitely include bullying against or bullying of kids against gay kids or LGBT
Mhm.
kids. So they're not going to be punished in a criminal sense, no. But the point is there are protections. The DepEd has guidelines on that in relation with the DSWD in terms of specific circumstances on how to help kids socially. So that's one
So,
protection.
attorney,
So far,
yes,
if you're talking
you,
about laws
yeah.
penalizing discrimination, it's just really the local governments. And then in
Okay.
relation with the national law will only be about bullying or
Okay,
protecting
so
kids
far
from bullying.
that's all we have at the
Yeah,
moment. Now,
yeah.
attorney, I have a question. This one is very interesting because in 2015 you actually filed a petition asking the Supreme Court to allow same-sex marriage in the Philippines. However, the SC dismissed the petition on technical grounds. Now, bago tayo pumunta dun sa ano yung nilalaman ng petition ng inyong hinain sa Supreme Court, sa inyong palagay, gaano kahalaga na maisaligal ang same-sex marriage dito sa ating bansa?
Well, marriage is important not just in our country but in the whole world. No, it's important for people because really the magic of marriage, and when I say magic, it's really magical. Um, Marriage is not tangible. You don't really see it. It's a legal
Mhm.
fiction. Humans created that fiction. No, we invented the idea of marriage. And what is the idea of marriage? The idea of marriage is you meet someone, you meet a stranger, and because you choose to be with that person for life, or if there's divorce, for a certain period of time, for companionship or for whatever purpose, you become a family. That's the magic of marriage. That's why, for example, the mother and father of the person you want to marry become your in-laws, mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. They become your family in the eyes of the law, right? Right now, your only family, if you're not married, if you're born, now that you're single, your only family are your biological kin, your family, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, aunts and uncles. You are connected by blood. Other people are not required to respect your relationship with someone else who is a stranger to you, not affiliated by blood. So, in practical sense, that means when it comes to your property. So, if you're single, when it comes to your inheritance, your property, other people are forced to respect your property and inheritance when one of your family member die or when you die. So when it comes to your properties, they're forced to respect it. When you go to the hospital, they're forced to respect that your father or mother have to be in the hospital. If you're still a child, if you're an adult, even then, brothers and sisters as well, or someone you authorize, right? Those are the situations where, because of the legal status of family, who has a right to you and who you have rights with, other people
Mhm.
are forced to respect that. That's the point of family. And that's the point of marriage. When you marry someone, that is your decision who you fold or who you include into your concept of family. And only marriage can do that. There's no contract. There's no other contract. You can try to make a contract. Okay, we're family, but it will not be recognized unless you're married. So only marriage transforms, and this is in the case of the United States when they legalized same-sex marriage. The words of Justice Kennedy, no? Only marriage transforms a stranger into a family. That's the magic of marriage. And I'm talking about it in abstract terms. But again, in practical terms, when you become family, that is the time when you have a lot of the other rights that are important for people to go on with their lives, such as how to handle your properties, how to handle your
Mhm.
decision making. For example, if you're in a comatose or if you're incompetent, you become insane, and a lot of other rights to you, to your body, to your property, to your life. That only happens when you have a person who you marry, right? And especially when you grow old, when your parents die, maybe your brothers and sisters have their own lives, right? Who do you want to live with and give decisions or choices over you or with you, right? Who do you want the hospital? Who do you want the funeral services? Who do you want uh, real estate agents to be able to talk with you or for you? So it's your choice, right? And for straight
Mhm.
people, for men and women, it's very easy for them to have a choice. They have that choice now. They can choose who to delegate or who to make their family, and the law and society is forced to respect that person as someone who can make decisions over their husband or over their wife or with their husband, with their wife. The bank, the funeral parlor, the hospital, etc. But for gay people, for lesbian people, and for transgender people whose gender identity is not recognized, and therefore they will be treated as a same-sex marriage if ever they will marry the partner of the quote-unquote same-sex. Their choices are not recognized. So they are left in a situation where they would have lived with a person for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And outside the eyes of the law, they feel, and in their hearts, in their minds, this is the person they trust to make decisions with them, gumawa ng desisyon kasama sila, gumawa ng desisyon para sa kanila, kung hindi na sila makagawa ng desisyon, hindi yun rinirespeto ng batas. Hindi yun rerespetuhin ng ibang tao. That's why, for example, ngayong pandemic, just to give an example, ngayong
Mhm.
pandemic, COVID-19, may isang tao sa Quezon City, lalaki, namatay, COVID-19, may partner siya na lalaki. They are same-sex couple. And ang daming requisitos, ang daming inikot, ang daming tinalon na hoops. The surviving partner had to jump hoops to have the custody of his partner's body and bury his loved one, his partner, in the way that the partner wanted to be buried. Right? So
Mhm.
imagine, ikaw, pag namatay ka, sinong gusto mong magkakaroon ng desisyon na ilibing ka? Paano ka ililibing? Catholic ba? Non-Catholic? Atheist? Whatever. Anong gusto mong funeral rites? 'Di ba? paano mo gusto ilibing. And then of course, yung process lang ng pag-iyak sa'yo, yung pag-grieve, syempre gusto mong ibigay yun sa partner mo na hindi na siya mag-aalala na itong ospital na to hindi binibigay yung katawan ko sa kanya. Kahit patay na tayo ngayon, may imagine mo yun eh. 'Di ba? Lahat tayo mamamatay eventually. So, we would want to know who would have a right. Sino ang magkakaroon ng kustodiya sa ating katawan? At nahirapan yung same-sex partner, yung surviving partner in getting the custody of the body and burying his partner. Someone who etong dalawang to, yung namatay and yung nag-survive, they've lived with each other for decades. So kilala nila yung isa't isa, 'di ba? And again, choice mo 'yan. Choice mo 'yan ngayon, walang karapatan yung ibang tao, right, to say sinong gusto mong makasama. Ngayong nabubuhay ka. Kunwari, magkasama kayo sa bahay, kayo nagmamahalan, pwede ka bang pigilan? Wala.
Although,
diba?
Attorney, I do have a question.
Go.
Now, how do you respond to people who say that there are other legal processes or legal means that a same-sex couple can actually exhaust in order to achieve the same rights na ine-enjoy ng isang heterosexual married couple? So, meron ba? Meron nga ba in the first place? And kung meron, ano yung mga limitations nito, if meron man?
Ang unang sagot dyan, kung ganun pala, kung pwede naman palang kunin yung mga karapatan under marriage, under other ways, legally. So one question, ibalik natin, bakit hindi nyo i-allow ang marriage? So pwede naman pala pero ang dami mo lang kailangang gawin at kuhaning daan or daanin, di ba? You can get it through other legal means anyway, the same rights as marriage. Then why not grant marriage? And that's the other feature of marriage, no? Marriage as a concept is a bundle of rights. Ano yung bundle? Parang siya isang malaking basket. Pinagsama-sama mo na yung iba't ibang karapatan doon at hinain mo na, pag kinuha mo yung marriage, binili mo yung basket, nakuha mo na yung laman ng basket, yung iba't ibang karapatan doon. And we've already tackled some of those bundle of rights. Like what? Right to property, inheritance, right to custody, when it comes to decision making, pag hindi ka makamake ng decisions. What about GSIS, SSS, pension of the surviving, if you're a deceased spouse, kanino mapupunta yung pension mo or retirement benefits if ever? Ganon din sa insurance, who can you name? Diba? Right now, you're not generally allowed to name strangers. Usually family for life insurance. And usually, when I say family, biological, no? And then of course, so if you're married, you can now name your partner, your spouse. So that's not available for same-sex couples. Anyway,
Now,
yun yung punto. So kung pwede palang gawin ng pagkadami-daming paraan para makuha yung karapatan ng kasal, ba't hindi mo nalang ibigay yung kasal? One. But second, the actual answer there is no. Hindi mo naman din talaga makukuha yung mga karapatan na nakalagay sa kasal or sa marriage sa ibang paraan. Siguro yung iilan, pwede mong kunin. Una, ano yung mga yon? Siguro pwede kayo gumawa ng property regime kung paano nyo isi-share yung mga ari-arian nyo kung kayo yung nagpundar noon. Pero even that, kulang. Kasi nga, inheritance comes into the picture. Pag hindi kayo kasal, yung iyong ari-arian, ang unang may priority nun, yung biological, by blood na family mo. Not your partner. And by the way, again, you might have your own lives. Your brothers and sisters might have their own lives. Bakit sila ang magbe-benefit sa ari-arian mo na you shared with your spouse or you want to share with your spouse? So that will violate your autonomy. Yung autonomiya mo na gumawa ng desisyon at isipin sinong gusto mong maiwanan nito. Of course, mahal mo siguro yung kapatid mo. Pero again, sila, kung straight sila, may sarili na silang mga pamilya or buhay. 'Di ba? So ikaw din dapat may sarili kang buhay, kanino mo iiwanan ang iyong mga ari-ari. Anyway, mukhang mababaw yan, property, no? But the other thing there is, kahit kaya mong gawin yan by contract, by other legal means, one, you have to consult a lawyer. You have to get the best lawyers who know how to approximate or gayahin yung mga karapatan ng mga taong kasal para makuha mo. So, hindi yan accessible to all. Right? Right now, madami namang straight na lalaki, straight na babae na hindi na kailangan nila mag-isip, kailangan kong pumunta ng abogado, sino bang magaling na abogado na alam ito, etc. Pupunta lang sila sa City Hall, kukuha ng marriage license, magpapakasal, and makukuha nila yung karapatan. Isn't that unfair? Na para sa LGBT people, na wala namang kinaiba sa mga straight people when it comes to love, when it comes to being a person, parang kailangan pa nilang gumawa ng isang extra, hindi nga lang isang extra step, madaming steps to get the same thing that they deserve. So that's unfair. So hindi yan tamang approach. Kapag sasabihin niya ng ibang tao, ang balik lagi diyan, ba't hindi mo na lang ibigay yung kasal para madali? Kasi yan ang ginagawa para sa mga straight people eh. Madali. Kung gusto mo magsama, gawin mong pamilya yung stranger na yan, 'di ba? Makuha mo yung mga karapatan sa marriage, magpapakasal kayo. As easy as that. Bakit mo kukomplikahin at papahirapan yung mga tao na maghanap ng mga abogado? And again, I say, hindi mo naman talaga magagawa yan kasi nga ako, abogado ko, pero alam ko hindi mo makukuha lahat ng karapatan, 'di ba? I go back to the idea na pagkasal kayo, force or puwersado ang ibang tao, ang gobyerno, ang lipunan na kilalanin itong tao na to bilang iyong partner. Pag walang marriage, kontrata lang yan, gawa-gawa nyo lang yan. Hindi mapipilitan ng ospital, hindi mapipilitan ang insurance, GSIS, SSS, hindi mapipilitan ang punerarya na i-recognize ka na ikaw ang may karapatan sa iyong partner. So, that's not
Ngayon,
true. There's no way to do that. There's no way to do that except marriage.
yes, exactly. Again, napaka-linaw na paliwanag mula sa inyo, Attorney Jess. Last question regarding
Umiinit
same-sex
umiinit yung
marriage.
ulo ko kasi natatandaan ko yung mga, sinasabi ng mga nakakainis. Oh,
And another question regarding same-sex marriage. If I remember it correctly, your petition was dismissed by the SC back in 2018. Now, moving forward, what are your plans regarding this? Are you still going to pursue any other legal action regarding this?
well, ako, naglaylo talaga ako after that because it's very draining, nakaka-burnout yung ginawa ko at yung prosesong pinagdaanan ko. Nasabi ko na to sa ibang media interviews pero hindi yata nila na-publish, no? Pero ako, naramdaman ko talaga pagkatapos nung kaso na yun, nung na-dismiss, at yung madaming ibang balitang lumabas from that, no? Ako kasi okay lang, sanay ako mabash, lalo na, bading ka, mapupunta ka sa impyerno, sanay na ako doon eh, kaya nga open ako and out, kaya ko yun, no? Pero yung mga ibang bagay na lumabas in relation with the petition I filed, ako lang to, pakiramdam ko, na-discriminate ulit ako bilang gay person sa isang lipunan na nagdi-discriminate na nga. Ako, ang hiningi ko lang talaga nun, stop the discrimination. Give me the equal rights I deserve. No? And when it comes to marriage, kahit wala akong partner, ang sinasabi ko doon, ang mga taong walang partner ngayon, mga single na straight, they always have the option. They always have the choice to get married. Pag nakahanap na sila ng partner, anytime, they can get married after. So, sinasabi ko doon, kahit wala akong partner, I need to have this option. Because this option allows my identity, my life, and along with the lives of other Filipinos na LGBT to be recognized as equal. Na dapat itong choice na to, itong option na to, available din sa taong tulad ko. And it's denied to me just because I'm gay. So, sa akin, yun na nga, discriminated na nga ako sa lipunan ngayon, discriminated ako bilang Pilipino, at alam ko, sinasabi ng konstitusyon, sinasabi ng saligang batas, na lahat ng tao pantay-pantay sa mata ng batas. No person shall be denied equal protection of the laws. Yun ang sinasabi ng konstitusyon ng saligang batas. Sabi ko, okay, merong magtatanggol sa akin. Ako ay protektado ng saligang batas, ng equality. I have a right to equality. So I feel discriminated. I'm asserting my equality. I'm asserting my right to not be discriminated and to be treated equally kasi yun ang sinasabi ng saligang batas. And when the petition was denied, I have to be honest, I felt discriminated again. But anyway, without diving too deep into that, na burnout ako sa process, so of course I have to recharge. Ganun naman sa movement eh. Sa lahat po ng mga nanonood, go po, ipaglaban nyo po ang inyong mga karapatan. Pero lahat po tayo allowed din na pagkatapos lumaban, pwede ka muna umatras and then mag-recharge. Yan ako, yun ang ginagawa ko. Kasi matindi din naman yung pinagdaanan ko nun. Not just in terms of the bashing, but yung mental health ko, yung aking time and resources. And by the way, madami akong ibang pinaglalaban. At madaming ibang kailangan ipaglaban din ngayong panahon na to. So, ako, fino-focus ko yung energy ko still on fighting for people. I have a radio show talking about political issues. And I talk about what's bad in society or what's bad in politics. But when it comes to being LGBT, no, etong movement na to sa totoo lang, maganda and mahirap. Maganda because we're diverse and of course, you really want to fight for your community. Pero mahirap din siya kasi nga, since diverse, iba-iba yung opinion, iba-iba yung atake. And minsan, yung atake nila, hindi lang sa personal, pero taliwas pa at parang sinusubukan nilang, hindi lahat to sinusubukan nilang kontrahin yung pinaglalaban mo. Ako kasi, hindi ko lang alam kung may nakikinig na mga proponents ng anti-discrimination. Pero may mga proponents kasi, may mga iilan, na sa tingin nila, zero-sum. Na parang, etong pinaglalabang same-sex marriage, makakain niya, madidistract niya, yung paglaban sa anti-discrimination. Ang kanilang mindset, unahin muna yung anti-discrimination. Sa akin kasi, ang mindset ko, paglaban natin lahat. Hindi naman yan, zero-sum. Anyway, ibang
attorney.
yan. Kasi ang punto ko, na-burnout ako, wala mo na akong plano, at kung may plano man ako, secret.
Ayan, aabangan namin yung plano mo, Attorney Jess. Ngayon, you are talking about equal rights and I think kung pag-uusapan natin yung struggles ng LGBT community at kung papasok tayo sa legalities, no, isa sa pinakamatunog na panukala ay ang tinatawag natin na SOGI Equality Bill. So a while ago, na-explain ninyo ano yung SOGI at bakit kinakailangan maunawaan nating lahat, no, kung ano ba yung implications niya. Ngayon, I have a question about it, Attorney. What can the reasons be? No? Sa palagay ninyo, bakit kaya hindi pa ito ipinapasa ng national government despite the fact na ang daming suporta ng panukalang ito from various sectors, no, malawak talaga yung bilang, no, maraming mga tao ang nagsasabi na timely naman na itong ipasa, etc., etc. Why do you think the national government cannot legislate yet such a law?
Syempre, ang simpleng sagot dyan, madaming suporta pero madami ding kumukontra. Ganun lang kasimple. Itong issue na to talaga, divisive for now dahil madami sa mga matatanda at mga nasa kapangyarihan, those in power, are really divided when it comes to this issue, no? Sa dami ng suporta nito, and we can break down the support as well, no? Kasi most of the support are really from the younger ones. When I'm talking about younger ones, hindi naman talaga mga bata, but let's say mga kaedad ko, 30 plus, 40 plus, medyo mas accepting na and mas progressive. And madami pa din sa mga nasa kapangyarihan, mga nasa 50 plus, mga nasa 60 plus. Yung kanilang pag-iisip, hindi nila matanggap na ang mga LGBT, hindi nila matanggap yung idea ng SOGI, pero kung natatanggap man nila, and madami namang tumatanggap, mayroon silang ibang idea that prevents them from protecting LGBT people. And I'm talking about, of course, yung mga concerns about religious freedom or expression. Na feeling nila, ang sinasabi syempre ng mga in power, especially in the Senate, and dati in the House, no, na if you pass this bill, it will trample or violate religious freedom. And some of their concerns are legitimate, and some of their concerns can easily be addressed. But I also see that some concerns cannot be addressed. It's really a zero-sum game. For example, let's say in schools, and a lot of schools in the Philippines are Catholic schools. So, can a Catholic school, quote-unquote, discriminate against an LGBT kid? The answer should be no. But of course, for these people in power, the answer for them is that kawawa naman yung religion. Kawawa naman yung school. Kawawa naman yung Catholic school. And ang sagot ko lang dyan, ang sagot lang dapat dyan is, there's no school that should operate that can discriminate against any kid, LGBT or not. So if bawal ang discrimination against female students, girls, against boys, and everything in between, Catholic school man yan or not, should not be a school. But anyway, yun yung mga ibang concerns, no? And then of course, you have this weird, and a very misleading tinatawag na straw man o red herring na mga concern na anti-discrimination bill or the SOGI bill will lead to same-sex marriage. So, balik tayo sa issue ng same-sex marriage, di ba? Ayaw ng mga bishops at binubulungan nila yung mga politiko na wag ipasa yung anti-discrimination because pag napasa yung anti-discrimination, mapipilitan daw yung mga simbahan na magpakasal ng mga same-sex partners or ng mga LGBT. And magkaka-same-sex marriage, which is ayaw nila kahit na hindi naman mga simbahan yung magpapakasal. Kahit let's say mga mayors, city hall, yun ang issue naman dun sa pinaglalaban kong same-sex marriage. So bakit siya weird? Kasi hindi naman sila konektado talaga to begin with. But, kinoconnect nila. At yun yung ginagawa nilang basis para takutin yung mga ibang politiko at kumbinsihin sila na wag iboto, wag ipasa yung bill. That's why ako...
Now, attorney, sorry, I would have to cut you off.
Oo, medyo
kasi ngayon,
oras.
yeah, but at the same time, we are going to entertain questions po mula sa ating mga online viewers. So now, here is a question from Jason Luis Tamundong. Ang question niya, under the Duterte's administration, mas lumala po ba ang diskriminasyon sa LGBT community sa bansa?
Under the Duterte administration, mas lumala? I cannot say, hindi ko makonect na dahil sa panahon ngayon, mas lumala. Ang masasabi ko, mas mukhang lumala. Pero sa tingin ko, dati pang malala. Mas mukhang lumala sa panahon ni President Duterte, not because walang connect to the Duterte administration at all, but just because with the passage of time, habang tumatagal ang panahon, mula sa panahon ni Arroyo, sa panahon ni Noynoy Aquino, and then ngayon kay President Duterte, mas palaban na talaga ang mga LGBT and they're making their voices heard. Nag-organize, nagpo-push for anti-discrimination ordinance, and recently, kaya ako sinasabing mas mukhang lumala, kasi nga, pinaglalaban ng LGBT individuals yung kanilang karapatan. For example, si Gretchen Diaz, na pakiramdam niya, na discriminate siya, nagsampa siya ng kaso. And then of course, it becomes a national issue. Mas mukhang, ang daming acts of discrimination na nangyayari. And parang, ang daming mga trolls, ang daming mga netizens, ito yung mga sinasabi, ang sasama, etc. So, ako, I would say, mas mukhang lumala. Pero itong mga attitudes na ito, itong mga beliefs ng mga kumukontra sa SOGI or sa anti-discrimination, or nagsasabi pa ding ang mga bading, transsexual, transgender, ay abnormal, kasalanan, etc. I would say, andyan na po sila. 20 to 30 years ago. Yun nga lang, suppressed or repressed kasi yung mga LGBT. So, wala silang inaapi kasi tinatanggap lang ng mga LGBT na tahimik lang muna. 'Di ba? Or mas tahimik noon. So, hindi ko masabi na mas lumala objectively. Siguro subjectively, mukhang mas lumala.
Alright. Ngayon, attorney, dadako tayo sa bahagi kung saan hihingi tayo ng legal advice mula po sa inyo. Ngayon, nabanggit nyo kanina yung mga nagiging victims na yung ilan mga kabataan sa kanilang mga eskwelahan pa. So, how can the victims report cases of discrimination, for an instance, school, sa workplace, even sa public spaces? Saan po sila maaaring humingi ng tulong?
Una, tingnan nyo po muna kung yung iyong syudad or inyong city, municipality, or the province. Baka meron ng mga probinsya ngayon, the local government, the provincial local government, if merong anti-discrimination ordinance pong napasa ang inyong local government. Kasi po kung wala, unfortunately, wala po kayong remedy. Wala po kayong pwedeng ikaso or masumbungan ng inyong reklamo except maybe social media. Opo. And unless criminal yung act, let's say na-discriminate kayo dahil sinuntok kayo, naging black and blue kayo, edi pwede naman po yun sa ibang batas. like the revised penal code, serious injuries. Pero hindi po anti-discrimination. Hindi nyo marereklamo na, ay, na-discriminate ako dahil bading ako. Ang marereklamo nyo, ay, sinuntok ako. Oo. Or na-injure ka. Or muntik ka ng patayin. So, yun po yung unang nakakalungkot na balita. Anyway, madami naman pong, or dumadami na po ang mga local governments again na may anti-discrimination ordinance. So, i-google nyo lang po yan. Madali lang naman po i-google yan. Second, kung may anti-discrimination ordinance, ang suggestion ko po, pumunta po kayo sa City Hall or sa Provincial City Hall, Capital. Dapat po, meron silang office doon for reporting gender-based or sexual orientation-based discrimination. And this is what happened with Miss Gretchen Diaz. No? So, nung na-discriminate siya sa isang mall, pumunta po siya sa Quezon City Hall to file a case. So, ganun lang po kasimple. Basta yung school, yung workplace, yung mall, yung daan, yung public plaza, falls under that city, and that city has an anti-discrimination ordinance, ganun po yung proseso. Ngayon, bago po kayo pumunta sa City Hall, ang suggestion ko din, pwede naman po kayong pumunta ng barangay or ng police district, yung pinakamalapit na police district or headquarters. Doon sa pinangyarihan ng insidente, sa police, magpa-blotter kayo, pero kasi baka ma-discriminate din kayo ng police, hindi nila alam may anti-discrimination ordinance, hindi nila alam yung konsepto ng anti-discrimination na violation. Baka hindi nila alam. But anyway, try nyo po. And then sa barangay, ganun din. Subukan nyo po, pero baka hindi din nila alam. Kung hindi man nila alam at pumunta kayo sa police o sa barangay para magpa-blotter, just to record the incident right away before you file the case at mag-hire kayo ng abogado to look at the incident para fresh sa utak nyo, ma-record ka agad, magpa-blotter kayo. Kung hindi naman po sila aware, sabihan nyo lang po sila na, ay, hindi nyo po ba alam na itong city natin may anti-discrimination ordinance. Kailangan nyo pong i-blotter ito, kailangan nyo pong i-record, incident report, kasi magkakaso ko later. So, kailangan nyo pong gawin yung trabaho nyo. Ganun lang. Siyempre, ano din po yan, nasa pakikisama yan. Kung kayo po i-discriminate din ng pulis at ng barangay, i-record nyo lang po sa utak nyo, kasuhan nyo din po sila.
So definitely, meron naman silang mga maaaring sumbungan, no? Although limited, ika nga. No? Ngayon,
Okay.
attorney, we are running out of time. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagbabahagi, no, ng mga karanasan at kasalukuyang sitwasyon ng LGBT community. Ngayon, do you have any closing words before we end the program?
Mas makulay ang buhay with LGBT people. So, tanggapin po natin ang mga tao dahil ang mga tao po iba't iba. And kung tayo po ay mag-aaral lang, malalaman po natin na ang tao, hindi na lang po yan man and woman. Kailangan ko po yan ulit-ulitin kasi, of course, noon po, nung lumang panahon, madaling intindihin na ang tao, man or woman lang. Are you a boy? Are you a girl? Nung pinanganak ka. Pero ngayon po sa siyensya po natin, alam natin may intersex. We're more than just boys, we're more than just girls. And people can be in between. May spectrum. Meron po yung parang rainbow, isang malaking kulay. Ang ating pong katauhan, sexualidad, at ang ating gender identity ay isang spectrum. Iba't ibang kulay, kaya tanggapin po natin ng mga tao. Mas makulay ang buhay kung tayo po ay accepting.
Thank you so much muli sa inyo, Attorney Jess.
Salamat din po.
Ngayon, matapos natin makita ang sitwasyon ng LGBTQIA++ community, natunghayan natin mula kay Atty. Jess na nagpapatuloy ang struggle ng sektor na ito, no, para sa pantay na karapatan. At kaugnay nito, no, dahil Pride Month pa rin, magsasagawa ang ilang mga organizations, no, mga LGBT advocates ng isang Pride protest rather. Bukas po yan, June 26, 10 a.m. sa Moraita. So, i-practice po natin yung social distancing habang tayo ay nasa protest, no? Pero maganda rin na mapakita natin yung ating kaisahan sa sektor, sa LGBT QIA++ sector dito sa ating bansa. So once again, thank you for joining us in this episode of Legal Basis. Catch us live here on NYK's Facebook page every Wednesday. That's our regular schedule at 6 o'clock p.m. This has been Shari Oliquino for Legal Basis. Now you know.
Now you know.